Hey YouTube, it's Graxy. Welcome back to the channel. Here's Siege. Season 8 begins on September 12th, and with that, I'm going to be going through all of my build guides from Season 7 and updating them for the new patch. This is going to give you all the information that you need to know to league start this character, as well as get you into the early game so you can start farming, which will help you progress into the mid game as well as the end game. So definitely hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all future Hero Siege related news and content, and let's get into this one. All right, first things first, disclaimer, this was made during the closed beta phase of Season 8 with the content mechanics that are available at that time, as well as we do not have item spawners in Season 8, so this is going to be based off of previous season data and build trends, as well as, just me going in the in-game journal in the closed beta and reading some of the new items and theory crafting with what we have there. If you've never played Bullet Hell before, it's literally a Bullet Hell, right? So here's one version of it. You just spawn a bunch of circles of bullets that go everywhere. These can shotgun, as well as there's another option to just spray them, right? You can spray them everywhere. So it's literally a bullet hell. It's very much a one button build. You get a lot of crit. You get a lot of just extra damage to monsters. It's a very, very, very cool build. Now, what's changed for Season 8? A few things. You're going to get one less projectile on the top end, right? So you get more points. You have to put more points in, and then you're going to get one less projectile total. Not really sure the build needed that, but it is what it is. Nowhere to Hide also got a damage buff from 15 to 25% per point. So it's going to be a 30% damage buff on this augment on the top left, which is kind of needed. There's some new items coming into Season 8 that are really going to make this interesting because of return projectiles is coming back. We haven't had that since Season 5. It was broken before. I'd imagine it's going to be broken again for a lot of different builds, and then this is going to be no exception to this one. So I think what's going to ultimately happen is you're going to see Bullet Hell is going to be a little harder at the start. You're going to hit a big weapon, things like return proj, and then it's just going to skyrocket, right? So a little harder to start, big weapon, it's going to skyrocket. It's kind of that same situation already, but you are, because of you have additional tools. Some of these bows and some of these weapons that they've buffed for these range builds are actually stupid. You get like 2,000, 3,000 attack damage with star levels, and some of these, it's actually insane how much damage you can get on these. So it's gonna be even more of like a big push once you get a big weapon, and then now you can return the projectile. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be absolutely crazy. So pros and cons: right click, right click and win sort of play style. It has several passives for attack damage, additional damage, crit damage, resistances, movement speed. You kind of have a built-in teleport with a particular skill. Leveling to 40 is a little bit slow compared to other classes. You can level as Bullet Hell. I actually recommend that you level as Bullet Hell. You get Shredder Trap at level 24. That's going to help you with pushing the build through, especially killing bosses. Shredder Trap destroys bosses in the leveling phase. And absolutely, like, you're not going to have any bossing problems with this character, which is fantastic. But it is a little bit slow until you hit that level 24 point. In the build guide, I do have skill trees for everything. So you can go through here and see exactly how we level the build. Biggest things are at level 40, you get your first augments. Augments are the big nodes here, right? We get those at level 40, 70, and 100. Very important, as well as if you never used the sub skill tree before, you get points in this sub skill tree every 5 character levels. So while you're leveling up, be sure that you're putting points in the sub skill tree. It'll help you a ton. There's some information in here on how all that works. And then at level 100, I have the Bullet Hell skill tree, the Shredder Trap skill tree for single target, or if you would like to just run Shredder Trap for a little bit longer, you're more than welcome to do that. And Trigger Finger is another single target option. And then we have all the sub skill trees for Bullet Hell, Shredder Trap, Trigger Finger, and Demon's Calling. Demon's Calling is what you're going to be using to teleport on a cooldown. So you do have a way to push through hills or whatever, jump over certain gaps, things like that. For attributes, we are going to be putting 2 points into strength, 2 points vitality, all the way through leveling. Get enough energy to feel comfortable. You're a physical build, you get leech. Get any amount of leech, and you no longer have any mana problems. But you will need just a little bit of mana so that you can use your skill without it, like using your entire mana bar. So yeah, once you get into the end game, you're going to be putting all your points into strength. You will need some attack rating. You have to actually hit enemies You can get some attack rating with dexterity, so dexterity on charms and gear, or just flat attack rating can definitely do that. Or you can just put points in dex to get a little bit of attack rating if you're having issues with hitting. Now, when it comes to gearing, this section is going to give you a bunch of different workable suggestions just at different stages of the game, right? So at level 1 to 100, we're mainly going to be using rare or mythic items that we pick up off the ground that have stats that make sense for a ranged physical attacker. So all skills, physical skill damage, enhanced damage on weapons, attack speed, leech, ignore target defense, pretty common stuff that you would see in most ARPGs. But if you're not familiar with that, definitely look through all these items to get an idea of what we're looking. It's a lot of the same stuff per item. You're just really looking for mainly these first few, like physical damage, physical skill damage, attack speed, that sort of thing. What really matters for leveling a physical build is having a good weapon. It really matters that you have a good attack damage weapon and that you're constantly upgrading your attack damage weapon. If we go back up here into what's changed, you see I have this little thing right here. I'm actually going to put this in here as well. This is really important. All weapons that are S tier, all weapons that are rare or higher got a buff. They got an enhanced damage buff on those items, right? It's gonna make it much easier to level your characters. Before, you were kind of relying on having to get a Sky Song or having to get rune words early on to help push your character up with attack builds. You don't have to do that anymore. Whenever you're leveling through the game, whenever you find a D tier rare or higher weapon with enhanced damage on it, use it. Turn off the D tier, look for a C tier. Once you find a C tier, use it, turn off the thing, and then go to B tier, right? Constantly be upgrading your weapon. They get way more attack damage than they got before, and it'll make it much easier, a much smoother progression for leveling up with. Right? And then once you hit level, before we do that, also while you're leveling, physical gems, they're called diamonds. Put diamonds everywhere in your gear. If you're going to have sockets all over your gear, throw diamonds in there. They give you additional physical skill damage. It'll help beef up all of your damages from your shredder trap to your bullet hell, everything, right? Very important as well. There are some leveling satanics that you might run into. Those are in the guide. Do not stop to farm for leveling satanics. Just keep going. If you find some of them, fantastic. If not, no harm, no foul, right? At level 100, there is some different options that you can go in terms of gearing. There's no best in slot gear. Really, our main goal when we hit level 100 is to get through all of Hell 1, which will allow us to unlock Satanic Zone. So we're going to be killing Hell 1 Mevius. That will unlock your Satanic Zone, so you can start farming for more of the progression gear at that point. So popping in here, you can see I do still have some gearing recommendations. Your weapon is extremely important, right? Weapon is very important. There's a ton of different options in here. I like Windstride, but you could, RTX QC 4910, whatever the hell it is, also really strong. The tack rifle also very strong. You get a ton of crit with it. So definitely take a look at these different weapons. It's very important to the build that you have a good weapon. And then beyond that, you can see that I have a ton of different other options at level 100 for you. You could put any of these together to be able to get through Hell 1 to, unlock those satanic zones. So you can start farming for the next step, which is progression gear. So progression gear is a little bit different than previous seasons because now you can actually target farm items. You were able to target farm before, but it wasn't as impactful because you were still rolling against the entire pool of items, right? That's started dying on me. You're still fighting against the entire pool of items. So you get an SS tier, but it could be any SS tier. Now you have dedicated roles towards those chase items, right? For the zone. It's gonna make it way easier to target farm items, as well as you also have access to star levels. Star levels was a new thing back in season 5, but it was removed due to some balancing issues, and it's now back. I don't really know if the balancing issues have been fixed, but they're back and they're really good. Star levels are very good. If you don't know how star levels work, go watch this video so you are up to date and understand this whole system and what's going on with it. It's very important for your gearing that you can star level some stuff up. You'll get a lot of extra juice out of it. It makes a lot of sense for progression, okay? For The progression gear, there's also Molten Paw. Molten Paw will allow you to put burning on enemies just from your back bar. This is really important for things like Coffee Container because you can get increased damage or extra damage to monsters that are in an ailment state, or in this case, a burning state. So this is really important to also helping scale up your damage. Some of you are used to going for shadow items. Reaper is harder now, right? He's got way more life. He's got way more life even in just Hell 1. Be careful. Don't jump into him in Hell 3. He's going to have way more life. He also has some different attacks. They're not really hard attacks, but they're different. And you're probably going to die in your first couple attempts on him. Fortunately, you get portals now. You get up to 5 or 6 portals, so you can go back in and do the fight when even though he's going to jump on you and probably kill you your first couple of times, you can go back in. Every time you do that, the fight does reset. His health bar resets, so you have to be able to kill him in one instance, basically. So getting these shadow items is going to be a little bit harder, but if you are able to get one, this will allow you to really push your build with enhanced damage and deadly blow and crushing blow versus going into those crit options, which can be a little bit harder to do at the start of the game. Nonetheless, we have a full item catalog of progression gear. All Inferno items have been moved to a new category, to a new tab, because it's much harder to get to Inferno now than it was in Season 7. So these are going to be aspirational items. If you're able to get them, fantastic. If not, no harm, no foul. They're their own thing, right? For relics, to be honest with you, Fizz Attacker relics haven't changed much. I know there's a bunch of other options. If you're playing a crit build, you're still going to use the same crit ones. You now get a 5th relic slot by killing Uber Gabriel and Uber Amun Ra, which is the Fall of Darkness quest. So you'll get a 5th relic slot. You can go with another crit option. You can go with, Commander Swords. There's proc items. There's Charmed Blood that can give you Overleech, essentially. So there's definitely some other options in here, just based on what you want in your build and how your build feels. But for most crit builds, for the most damage potential, you're probably just going to go another crit relic. Potions haven't really changed at all. It's the same shebang from before. Take a look at potions if you're not familiar with them. For chest augments, Berserker Rage is the most damage. However, I like Lethal Tempo. You get the most amount of upfront attack speed compared to some of the other augments that are available. Tempest Strikes can give you a decent amount of attack speed as well. I just think this one's the most well-rounded. I like attack speed. I'm a crit build. I get crit damage. Just makes the most sense to me. Mercenaries were completely reworked for Season 8. If you aren't familiar with what mercenaries are like now, go check out some of their changes and buffs and whatever, right? One really cool thing with the Archer Merc is you can get enough cooldown reduction that you can actually maintain the attack speed buff. It's hard to keep the Archer Merc alive, but if you can, this attack speed buff is actually insane. Absolutely insane. Now, Mercs also have access to boots, belts, and gloves. Personally, I'm going to be stacking Magic Find on my Merc. It's going to be full Magic Find on every single piece of gear. So most of my recommendations here are just going to be what's going to give you the most amount of Magic Find. If you want to go do some other stuff and try and keep your Merc alive and, put a bunch of damage on him and do some weird interactions with him, be my guest. But I'm going to stack as much Magic Find on the Merc. I think it's for most people, this makes the most sense so they can get progression on their actual characters and move forward in the game. Hero levels, a couple nodes on them changed. Got a little bit of buff on the hero level tree. Not too different from before. If you're not familiar with the hero level tree, go watch this video so you understand the hero level tree. It's pretty quite simple. List of glyphs is also available if you aren't familiar with glyphs. Again, I have a video covering everything that you need to know about glyphs, what they do, where to get them, that sort of thing. We will have loot filters available for everybody for every build, every archetype. So I will have links and everything available in the build guides. I am working on some stuff on the website and some of these links. So they're not available just yet, but they will be in every single one of my guides for the league start, as well as in a situation where you're not able to import some of these filters, you will be able to go and actually build them out yourself. I'll have information in every single guide on how to build out the filters for starter, nightmare, and hell. So you're not going to be without a filter, at least a good filter that you can work with, right? Good filter that you can work with. And last but not least, we have helpful resources. For any of you newbies out there, if you're a returning player, you kind of want to brush up on some stuff, Definitely check out this document. I've moved all of this out of the main guides and put it in its own place. This will give you information like the ultimate beginner's guide, the progression tips, mining guide, all that information. Again, we are going to be revamping the website a little bit. I'm going to try and get some of this stuff there so it's a little bit easier for you guys to find. So yeah, all that will be there. And that's going to wrap up the Demon Slayer Bullet Hell build for Season 8. I think it's going to be an insane build, honestly. Once you can get things like the return projectiles and some of these new bows, you're just going to absolutely go fucking insane. So thank you all for watching so much. Come watch me live at twitch.tv/Graxy_TV. We're going to be playing the open beta, which starts on September 5th. Be absolutely blasting that. I'm going to try some relic tech that I haven't had a chance to test yet that I need your guys' help with. So come hang out with me. We're going to find some of these items and we're going to do some crazy relic stuff. It'll be really interesting. So thank you for watching. See you guys in the next one.